Final word.
Yep. Man, let's go. Yeah, man. So we bringing you another final word.
The final word.
Got a lot to talk about today. So the news is not stopping. It's not stopping at all. So Stephen Jones said we don't have anything on the front burner. Well, we're going to talk about that because that does mean a lot.
Final word.
It does. It means a lot. So obviously I'm going to break down what that means as different people coming in the building. It's going to be a little bit of an overlap. Law right now with the Cowboys collective. When he finished that, he could be coming over here. And then we go break it down.
Word.
But, you know, I got you. Trust me. I can roll with it. So we getting ready to roll with it. So y'all sit back. You know your boy Boss got you. Let me do some work on the back end. And I'm going to come back and we go kick this whole thing off. Y'all give me 1 second. In the meantime, let's rock this intro.
I just wanna run it up. Can we check or something? I've been really in the field, let up, yeah. I've been really in the field, let her rush, I let her feel. Lately I just wanna run it up. Don't need no deals, I make the deal. Half a ticket to a meal. Lately I just wanna run it up. Yeah. Kinda check or something. Lately I just wanna run it up. Count that too, count it up, yeah. Count it up. Lately I just wanna run it up. Need them ones, I need them fives. Need them tens, I need that change. To the safe, got blues inside. Greens and pinks, it's all the same. I still save and roll my change. Take some losses when I play, charge it to the game. I'm with L, yeah, I'm with T Black, I'm with Reverend now. I'm with Bay, yeah, I'm with Jay, yeah, I'm with Chuck and now. Still the same, not switching sides, now it's about loyalty. You switch sides off for the bag, and that's worth more to me. I mix Nike with designer, I experiment. You just rock what's on the shelf, and I'm not feeling it. Search for the one, but baby girl, it's nothing real as this. Can't trust a soul, I keep a hammer, call it too legit. I've been really in the field, let her rush, I let her feel. Lately, I just wanna run it up.
Man, if you want to run it up, man, let's go, man. Let's get ready to run this thing all the way up. All right. So getting right down to the nitty gritty, bro. We not gonna play no games. You know, obviously Brian had his press conference today, and we gonna talk about that. But before we get into that, I want to talk about, obviously, to me, one of the bigger things that's sitting on the horizon right now. Okay. So this came out, and then I got a call from Henny. And I already told y'all, when your boy Henny call, you be like, damn, bro. Because you know he ain't going to call you, especially with urgency, unless it's urgent, right? So, first thing he said is, man, Stephen Jones just said some malarkey. I'm like, what you talking about, bro? And he said, this right here. So, from John Machode, he said, Cowboys Executive Vice President Stephen Jones on if there are any more moves to be made to improve the roster. His answer: we don't have anything that's on the front burner. So nothing to the Jalen Ramsey rumors? Nope. He plays for the Dolphins. So, what does this mean? Let's put this together. What does this mean? So we've been hearing, and I've been hearing this a lot. I've been hearing a lot of people say, Steven, he pretty much tell the truth. Hold on, let me pull this up real quick. Y'all give me 1 second, man. It's going to be a little bit of an awkward silence. But y'all know how I roll. I got to show y'all what this really means. All right, so y'all give me 1 second. Y'all give me 1 second. Here, man, see, listen. Y'all better understand the work that I go through to get y'all the receipts. And just being organized to where even if it just hits my mind at the last minute, I can pull it up. So I want to show y'all what this means. So y'all just listen to this and we gonna discuss this on what does this mean. Listen.
When you say one of the benefits of playing in Texas, would that include the lack of a state income tax?
Sure. I mean, everybody knows that's the case here. The cost of living compared to, some of these bigger cities in the NFL certainly comes into an account. And, at the end of the day, we're looking for some credit for that. And the main reason for it is we're gonna spend to the cap. We're going to spend to the cap. We're going to spend to the cap.
Y'all remember that?
We're going to spend to the cap.
We're going to spend to the cap.
We're going to spend to the cap. Year in and year out. And
year in and year out. Wait.
Year in and year out.
D.A. Lee, this is where I can trust you, brother. Because, see, D.A. Lee ain't going to play no games. He going to come say what it is. That's what it is. If y'all want to know what this means, I don't want to hear no more. Steven, he's moving different. He's moving different. Okay, I heard somebody coming in. Okay, hold on real quick. Who is that?
That's me. I'm gonna come back out. I can't see you.
Okay, that was the OC. So, what does that mean? I don't want to hear nothing. I don't want to hear nothing about that. Steven, he tells the truth, boss. He's not like Jerry. I don't know. Listen. Just mark this day down. Because he told you that he is going to spin to the cap. Oh, see you up in here?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So I was just basically going through the evidence of where Steven said we don't have anything on the front burner, right? So it's been a whole lot of, pushing and lobbying and, so we got some super. He said, just showing some love to the channel, big dog. Keep grinding so we can continue to support you and all you do. Man, thank you, bro. $20 is not a light thing, and we appreciate you greatly. So I was making the case that before you walked in, OC, that Stephen Jones said,
in an account, and at the end of the day, we're looking for some credit for that. And the main reason for it is we're gonna spend to the cap year in and year out. And, over the course of time, we're going to spend our money to try to get as many good players as we can. So, that's the art of the deal.
That's the art of the deal, Jose.
Well, he's singing a new tune these days because historically he has been the budgeteer of them all. And so at this point, he wants to acquiesce to the fan base, which has been crying and pleading and have become more educated over the last few seasons to say that, hey, man, we got this cap space. Why didn't we get this player? Why didn't we get that player? Why didn't we try this? Why didn't we try that? So now, because the fans are educated, it has motivated him to have a more aggressive approach along with Brian Schottenheimer's approach to this and trying to win a Super Bowl in the next couple of years, which is, I really believe, is Brian Schottenheimer's approach to this whole thing. He understands that NFL means not for long, and he's trying to turn this ship and get to the promised land in a hurry. And so that's what's going on in the front office and behind the lines with the Dallas Cowboys.
Yeah. And see, I don't see it. I see it totally different. I see that this is because he said he go spin up to the cap. He usually said, hold on real quick. See, this is Dallas Law. He's saying it. Dallas Law said, what was his usual saying? It's a 24-hour, 365. Yep. See, that's the usual. That's what we usually hear. But ever since we got Pickens, and ever since we've been celebrating, and ever since we've been showing that we're so happy, we're positive, we're happy. Now the tune has changed. Ain't nothing on the burner. See, it ain't 365 no more. So it tells me that Stephen Jones is right back to sitting back and chilling.
Really?
Yeah, that's what I said. Yeah, because he's saying there's nothing on the front. You used to say that team building is a 24/7, 365. Now, all of a sudden, going into training camp, well, we don't have anything on the front burner.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. I mean, he said they're going to spend up to the cap to make this team good, which to me, that was a key phrase, right? He said, we're going to utilize the cap to be sure that the team is good.
He said spend up to the cap, year in and year out, to try to make sure we can get as many good players as we can. That's exactly what he said.
Right. So that's a positive thing. I don't see that as him saying I'm sitting back on my laurels.
No, that's what he said when we was mad. So you got to check the timestamp. So that's what I didn't. That's where I messed you up.
When you say one of the benefits of playing,
this was April 15th.
Okay, gotcha.
So he said this spit it to the cap on April 15th. Now he says something different as of June the 3rd. It's different now. I didn't tell you the time step. That's why I messed you up.
Okay. Okay. Because I'm thinking, did he say his reason? Okay.
No, he didn't say that reason. So that was his old promise.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, man, he thinks that.
I'm sorry to laugh.
I think. No, you're good, man. I think that he's thinking that he may have done enough right now to satisfy the fan base based upon what you're saying on the timestamp.
Yeah.
Now, however, we know that the most aggressive moves are made typically for the Cowboys when you get into a training camp or if they find a great discount deal and they start to see, we might be in trouble in this position. Then they throw something at it, you know?
Yeah.
He pretty much have given most of the wish list to Schottenheimer. So he's a guy, again, that feels like, hey, I gave you most of what you may want, and let's just see how this thing goes, and, we'll play it by ear. So he's definitely a play it by ear, and then call up our VP of player personnel and say, hey, man, we need this, fix this.
Yeah.
So, that's that. I mean, based upon the timestamps, which I was confused about that, then, that's probably the vibe. It's like, hey, man, we've done enough. Hey, we're good right now. Even though, I don't want to always seem like I'm being a negative person or seem like I'm being critical about the Cowboys' decision-making mechanism.
Yeah.
But we do have a need. We do have a need at DT.
Yeah.
We have a need in particular. We need a guy that's dependable, that can play 25, 30 snaps and really stop the A and B gap run, that can play two gap. We need a big boy. We need a big thug in there. So we don't have that right now, unless you really feel great about Mozzie's development from year 2 to year 3, and you think that Mozzie's going to take a significant jump. Now, Mozzie played a lot better year 2.
He did.
So this is the year of maturation for Mozzie in terms of him coming into his own as a true nose tackle. So
he will.
If Mozzie's looking great, I understand them not being aggressive, spending big money there. I understand it, but I don't completely agree with it because you still need a backup. You
That's right.
still need somebody rotationally that can spell Mozzie R in light of injury because it's a long 17-game regular
Exactly.
season. So with that being said, yeah, you need somebody else in there. But however, they may want to see what they have, with these other older souls that they've brought into camp. And so this boss will be a wait and see situation, as you already know.
Exactly. It's basically he confirming we getting ready to go in here with what we got. Okay. So
Yeah.
I want to say, what does this mean, right? So for everybody that's pushing for additions, this type of stuff feels like you got shot, right? You feel like, damn, well, there it is. No, that does not mean, in my opinion, to stop talking. No. What you want to do during times like this, and I've said this so many times, and I mean this, I've went through this so many times, especially dealing with corporate executives, right? Whenever I used to present my proposals, OC, I knew they was gonna say no. So what I would do is I would have a well thought out solution, present it, get the no, and wait. And what would I wait on? The crash. And so when it would crash, so if another sales rep would quit, right? Or if they had a need arise where they needed more production from their salespeople, that's when they would dust off my proposal because it was already thought out. So what this means to me is we should not stop lobbying for what we think is going to get us over the hump. I don't care what he said about there's nothing on the front burner. Yeah, that's because it's the off season. There's no bullets flying. But when them bullets start flying, and let's start saying you still have some injuries, right? See, those of us who were still pushing for what we need, your proposals will get dusted off. See, a lot of people go take this as a sign to quit. I don't think you should quit. I think what you should do is keep pushing for what makes the most sense.
Yeah, I think that there are some things that, can be done in terms of seeing what possibly is out there as it relates to a good one technique that's still available. And I haven't done much work on that, so I can't speak to that on this show. But what is out there, what's available, the Cowboys do like to wait for value picks around training camp, cuts, things of that nature.
Which will be now.
Yeah,
June 1st cuts.
But yeah, I get it. But the Cowboys don't typically operate in that June 1st cut space. I mean training camp cuts. I mean guys that have value and their price is way down. The Cowboys like to discount shop. That hasn't changed, and I'm not against that either. So the Cowboys want to wait and see, man, okay, who can we get that will help us do what we need to do for the lowest possible number? What is the cheapest rental? What is the cheapest solid rental that we can get? That's kind of like the Cowboys way. So, I think it's dangerous though. And I'm not being
it's
negative
dangerous.
when I say that.
It's right. You're being nice. I ain't liking you right now, so you kind of.
No, I'm not being nice. I'm being measured. The nice and measured is different. I'm saying I don't agree with it fully because what happens is you run the risk of a position being dry. You run the risk of losing a couple games because you couldn't stop the inside run, which historically has kind of been a problem with this defense. Yeah. All right, just to be honest with you. What's up? Salute to you. So I feel like, the best comes to those that hustles, up front, man. And the people that don't hustle up front, they end up getting the leftovers. And you could lose a couple games that may hurt you divisionally if you don't tighten this up.
They risking a slower start. That's what they're risking, being honest.
I don't want to be the bearer of bad news today, but I'm saying it is risque.
Yeah.
But if the guys you have come in camp and they play well, then this could be a moot point. If Mozzie is dominant, if Mozzie is,
I don't think it's about Mozzie. I think it's about the depth with Mozzie. I'm not worried about Mozzie.
I think in part it's about Mozzie. I'm gonna tell you why. Because they believe in Mozzie's potential, his development, and they just paid Osa, the 3 technique, a good amount of cash, right?
Yeah.
And they felt like that they just picked up the pickup from San Francisco. They picked up a couple guys, right? That are Solomon, right? They feel like he's versatile, right? They picked up another D tackle. They feel like, okay, so we got something to work with here, which is why they're not in a hurry. This is why they're not.
But you mentioned in the 3
techs.
I'm cool on the 3 tech, and I think the 3 techs are strong. What I don't feel veteran wise, I like the 3 techs, right? I ain't got no problem with that. What I got a problem with is what's behind Mozzie is the Denzel Daxon, year 2, no reps. Rodgers, year 2, no reps. None, zero game time experience. Depending on Jay, 7th rounder. No reps in the NFL. So you got 4 DTs at the 1 tech position that hasn't played 1 down. So I'm not worried about Mozzie. I think Mozzie gonna be fine. I'm worried about these guys that's basically getting ready to come in here with basically rookie reps, and you asking him to go 17 games. So, and then you got Steven over here like, we ain't even got nothing on the front burner. Like, we ain't got nothing cooking. We ain't got nothing. We ain't got nothing in the oven. We ain't got nothing.
Yeah. And look, I understand.
JC in the building. What's up, boy? Lou in the building. What's up? Amp in the building.
Salute.
Dallas with the $20 super chat. Appreciate you, Dallas Law. He said just keep grinding. Appreciate that.
Appreciate it. Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, man, I feel like, the Cowboys have a little bit of rope to play with because they do have defensive line depth. The 3 techs, some can get flipped like Solomon. They can make him a nose here and there. He can sub in as nose, and they'll play with it, boss. They'll play with it, right? He's a natural 3 tech, but they'll play with that. I think if they're trying to save money and they're trying not to be overly aggressive in front, I'm playing devil's advocate in the sense of thinking about their train of thought. You got to be able to argue both ways. They think they got some depth.
Why would you argue that way?
But listen to me. Hear me out, please.
It's no logic in that, bruh. This man just said he go spin to the cap. Why we over here defending him trying to save a dollar?
I'm not defending him, boss. I ain't defending him. I'm telling you what his thought process is now, which, whether you agree with it or not, is still his thought process.
Yeah, I know.
I'm telling you
I don't agree with it. And I know his thought process. He over here on some, let's go with our guys stuff again. That's what this is, OC.
Yeah.
This is our guys stuff, bro. This ain't even money.
Of course.
This is, we got guys that we drafted. We like to, if we pick them, we got to play them. It's that dumb shit. Okay. That's what it is.
Well, so why you mad? You know what it is.
Well, I'm mad because it's risky.
You know what it is.
That's why I'm mad, because it's risky. It's like,
we've been risking it every year.
I know. So why we cool with that? So this is what I mean.
I ain't saying be cool with it.
It was risky when we decided to go with our guy LVE over Bobby Wagner. You see what I'm saying? So it's this pattern that when we close, we tighten the butt cheeks. It's like,
hey,
it's like, bro, you can't get on the toilet and then you gotta let it go.
Well, you can. You call that hemorrhoids.
Man.
You can. So look, man. Here's the deal, man. Look, I'm
not liking you, OC, right now. I'm just being honest. I'm not liking this old devil's advocate fair OC. Who is this? Where's your hoodie?
I'm not. Listen, man. I'm telling you.
This is some BS. You gotta be able to argue both sides. Man, I don't want to talk to attorney OC today. I need gangster OC because I don't know who this dude is. Who is this?
Listen. I'm saying I don't say you're wrong. I'm just telling you that it's unlikely that he makes moves until we get closer to training camp or something bad happens.
Oh, sure, he gonna be. It's nothing on the front burner right now.
I'm telling you.
I'm finna move on, bro. I'm finna move on. You just killing all my chi, dog.
I'm not killing your chi. I'm trying to save energy because I want to argue when it's important. Now, once they get busted up and somebody run up the middle for 200 yards,
why we gotta wait?
But that's what's gonna happen because I'm telling you what's gonna happen.
I know. So why you waiting?
I'm telling you what's gonna. I don't know. They do this every year. What you want me to tell you? I'm just telling you.
I want you to fight. That's what I want. I want some anger. I want some piss. See, you know who I want? I want the OC that came in when you was mad at us at the draft. Because you checked all of us. When you came in and said, y'all soft. You said that to the whole panel. See, this OC, this the OC that your son must have had a good baseball practice or something. Because you coming in all chipper. Who is this?
No, I'm not being... Because listen, as you age, you understand when it's time to fight, and so you save your energy. So I'm saving my energy until it gets closer to when it got to go down. I don't jump around. See, when I was let me tell you a story.
No, I hear you.
This is why. I'm gonna tell you.
I don't believe.
My first start.
I just think you're being nice.
First start. No, listen.
I don't think you're gangster today. I think you kind of soft.
Listen. Okay, listen, and say whatever you want, whatever you know that ain't true.
This ain't the homie I'm used to. I ain't gonna even lie. You thought I was gonna lie to you? I'm not.
No, listen, I'm not gonna lie to you.
You're friendly. I'm gonna tell you. Hey, you gotta be able to argue both sides.
Listen, I'm gonna tell you do, but listen, I'm gonna tell you this. Well, my freshman year, man, look, my freshman year, sophomore year, I got my first start. No, was it? Yeah, my freshman year, my first start, and I was coming out on the field, and everybody was jumping around. I'm jumping all around, doing all that crunk boy stuff. And man, look, by the end of the first quarter, I was so freaking tired. And I came to my senior center. And I was like, man, God dog, man, why am I so tired? He said, because you was out there doing all that jumping around and with all those guys that's going to stand on the bench the whole game. You should have been chilling like us, saving your energy until it was really time to fight. And I was like, you know what? You right. And you know what? From that day forward, I never came out there until it got close, and I didn't exert myself like that. I exert myself in the game or right before it's about to go down. And this is the same situation. These guys got on the shades. He got on the shades, boss. He's chilling. He's going on a yacht. You know, they're gonna sell around the Audis. They're gonna go to Trinidad and Tobago. You know, they're chilling a little bit, man. It's summertime, bro. Look at him. Look at his shades. Look at his shades. Those are vacation shades. That's not business regular season shades. Those are, hey man, we're about to just chill a little bit before this thing pick up, man. So his mind is not even fully right. And you know he's not like a personnel guru, right? We already know all this. So I'm simply telling you, save your energy a little bit, and then we can initiate this fisticuffs as we get closer to training camp and when they play a couple of preseason games and it don't look good. Then you do all that. And then they get nervous because they're getting closer to regular season. Right now, he ain't nervous. And then he's stubborn. Then he's like, no, Shotty, you're not getting all of your way. I'm going to give you most of your way. I'll give you kind of most, because I know Shotty's talked to him about this. I know Shotty's already talked to him about this. I know this has come up in meetings. I know. But he done lost so much. What you gonna do? Completely emasculate the man? No. Shotty's gonna be like, okay, Shotty gotta chill. Shotty gotta wait. Shotty done already brought this up. You know Shotty has brought this up. Man. You know he has.
I'm gonna just say this.
So,
I'm gonna just keep it real with you. You conserving your energy. I just totally hate your strategy. I feel like on the day that he announced that we ain't got nothing on the front burner, on that day, I want to let them know that I'm not cool with that. On today. You said that today? My response today is, that's not cool. I don't like it, and you did not keep your promise to spend up to the cap. You said you was going to do that. We are at that point to where you still should be saying what you've been saying, that team building is a 24/7, 365. You even backed off of that. So that's all I'm saying. You know, and listen.
You're right.
I know you're a fighter. Right. I know you're a fighter because when it get down to it, I know you go come to shoot. I know that. I've been rocking with you long enough. But I'm just disappointed in them. You know, and they starting to go back into They going back into that softness and lack of urgency when they should be urgent. See, this is the type of stuff they've been doing when they was 12-5. You 12-5, and then you want to draft for the future. See, this that type of stuff. You see what I'm saying? He doesn't have that go for a killer instinct, and it gets on my nerves. Like it's like, bro, you close, and now you over here thinking about. Hold on real quick. My boy Tuck say with the super chat, he said, Scotty better sprinkle some of the culture pixie dust and make sure Micah at camp. Micah is prepared to hold out. Here we go with this again. Yep.
Okay, so let me ask you this question.
Yeah, I'm listening.
The over-under, does Micah really hold out? Percentage, 0 to 100%. Does Micah really hold out?
He holding out now. Yes.
Yeah, this is OTAs.
It's a holdout. And guess what? Yeah.
He hasn't showed up to OTAs at different times before.
But see,
This
this is the difference. This is the difference. His name is being called the most. See, it's always been hypocritical. You right. It's always been hypocritical. Always. Calling him out on OTA, and CeeDee Lamb has always been absent.
Because they working with their own trainers and know what they doing and get their bodies right.
But who are they
together.
asking about right now?
Micah, because they scared, because they know they ain't paid him. That's the only reason why they bringing it up, because they know, we ain't paid you, so they like this. They like this. They got their eyes to play. Okay, what are you gonna do? We know we ain't paid him. How much can we play with him?
Is he gonna hold out by training camp? Yep.
He's gonna hold out through training camp. You think so?
Mm-hmm. Without a doubt.
If he don't have his contract, he holding out. He ain't reporting.
He should.
I think he should, but will he? That's the question.
Oh, absolutely.
Not what he should.
Oh no, he will. I'm certain.
Okay.
I'm certain. Oh, what?
Okay.
Without talking to nobody, I know he gonna do it. Hold on. See, Tuck just put this out. He say, look, see, it's already started. He just tweeted he's prepared. He not gonna play about that money.
Now, listen, I wanted to get this is just for conversation's sake, right? I wanted to get your feedback on this.
Now let's go.
I do think that Micah Parsons will hold out.
Oh yeah, he holding out. Yeah, he holding out.
100%.
100%. Oh yeah.
100%. He's holding out. Because he said this last year. This is even before this year. He said, look, I'm different than the rest of these guys.
Yeah.
He said that. They asked about his contract. He said, I'm different.
Right.
I'm different than the rest of these guys.
Man, this is the same Micah Parsons that said out 2 years in college. In college. People forget that. He didn't play 2 years in college. Man, Mike ain't gonna play no games with them. Yes, he's holding out. Tuck is right. Get ready. If he ain't paid, it's gonna get it's gonna get nasty.
And this is great. This is gonna be great TV. This is what I'm excited about, because
what you mean by
it's gonna be good. It's gonna be great TV because it's gonna give us a whole lot to talk about.
This is Stephen Jones. OC, who is this?
Stephen Jones is going to. Stephen Jones.
You said this is great. So you woke up like you must have been doing some consulting deals today, man. You thinking like a capitalist.
No, listen. I'm saying it's gonna be great for us to have this to talk about, because of the fact that they are going to try to run this thing up the same way they've done it with everybody else. You know what's going to happen. But at the end of the day, Micah's going to win.
He going to win.
And this is why it's good. Because they have no choice. All right, at the end of the day, Micah Parsons is going to be the highest non-paid quarterback in NFL history. That's what's supposed to happen. He's going to be the highest paid non-quarterback in NFL history.
Yeah, it's going to happen.
That's what it's going to take to get it done. But I'm saying the Cowboys are just going to be the Cowboys. Now, we can see Brian Schottenheimer's influence in that. If this deal gets done before training camp, he was involved.
And then look at this.
That's what I'm saying.
Boss, that would get the fans back angry. Yep.
They don't care if you're angry to a point, man. They don't care. As long as because all they're going to do is come out and clean up. They're going to be like, hey, look, these things are difficult. These things are hard. I mean, it's a lot of money to pay Micah Parsons. These things are complex and, yada, yada, yada. But you know what, guys? At the end of the day, we get it done. Jerry's came out multiple times and said that. At the end of the day, we always get it done. And that's what they're going to emphasize.
I'm going to give the front office one thing of credit so far. So far, they have not been throwing him under the bus like they usually do.
Yeah.
They have not. Not yet. They have not been. They haven't been. See, they've been asking, the media people have been asking about him, and they asked Jerry about him and all of that, Brian, all of that. And they is not making no kind of waves about him being absent. Or anything, period. No concerns, no questioning his leadership, any of that. So they not hitting below the belt yet. So
but Micah is different because Micah's a shooter. If they say something crazy, Micah get on that Twitter and have a reply.
Yeah.
Micah's that kind of dude. Most of these other guys are really not those type of dudes. No offense, but Micah's are really a dude that if you say something crazy about Micah, Micah will take to Twitter or take to whatever media platform and he will speak his piece.
Oh yeah, quick. Absolutely.
He'll speak his piece.
Yeah.
So
with the
that's what that is. So
I'll say this though. I was listening to Brian, and Brian got some good things, man. And you the right person. I can't wait to talk about this with. Obviously dealing with Micah Parsons is exponentially important. Stephen Jones basically saying he done shopping is not a surprise to me. Mark this down on your calendars that Stephen Jones does not always tell the truth. Some of us believe that. You shouldn't believe that after the day. That's all I'm saying. He told you he go spend to the cap. We are still here with a bunch of cap room, and he telling you we ain't got nothing on the burner. All right? So just remember that. Just everybody just flag that in your Stephen Jones tell the truth all the time. No, he does not. Okay? This is one day he did not tell the truth on him spending to the cap year in and year out. He did not. And he should get the one tech. Yes, he should. And he still should be looking at running backs. Yes, he should. They still should be working right now trying to find this talent right now. So anyway, I want to play this real quick for Brian because obviously we want to kick it off with what, Steven said, right? Because that just happened, right? We don't have anything on the front burner. But it's a lot of good things. So I want to go through some of the things that I heard out of Brian and kind of go on some of these clips, talk it through with your see. This ain't going to take us long. But listen to this.
John Schottenheimer with The Athletic. Michael Irvin obviously was in the building. He talked about how he liked the competition even in the meeting rooms, talking about how having a wide receiver on each dry erase board, kind of going over plays and things like that. Is that left up to the assistant coaches, like each room's different, or is that something top down where you're like, hey, we got to find more ways to make this more interactive? Michael was talking about you didn't see one guy on a phone, and obviously that in the phone era that we're in, it's probably difficult to do that.
Well, I think it shows you that coaches and players have just understood the central theme of the program, and that is to compete every day. The central theme of the program, and that is to compete every day. And this is not a random Tuesday for us. We are trying to throw the best practice in the NFL to date today. And can we do that? I don't know. We'll see. But the coaches individually, when they break up into the rooms, kind of the plan for that day was we wanted to have the legends. I'll refer to them as legends because they all are. Sit in the room, and it's fun for those guys that watch film. They miss it. I mean, you can't not miss it. I mean, Babe would speak to that. You miss sitting in meeting rooms. You miss the corrections. You miss the jibing. And the fun stuff. But each coach is going to find a way to. We do a lot of trivia, a lot of questions, and we like to compete. And there's always going to be a winner and a loser.
Well, this is a page out of the great Pete Carroll's playbook.
That's right.
It's creating a culture of nonstop competition, which was picked up in the Seattle Seahawks, which drove them to be a very dominant team,
right?
And go deep in the playoffs and ultimately win a Super Bowl there.
That's right.
And so,
and they was a consistent playoff team.
Very consistent, very tough to beat. very consistent, very tough, very physical, competition heavy. You could lose your job anytime, any week.
Yeah.
And so it created that culture and environment. And so here's the question. The question that I have is that will the Cowboys environment and front office culture be able to sustain what Brian Schottenheimer is trying to do culture-wise?
Right.
That'll be an interesting thing to see as these things unfold, right? Because he needs hands off, or he needs verbal backup and affirmation to pull it off. Either it's hands off, well, you know what, that's Brian, and it's very hard historically for our front office to kind of operate that way.
Exactly.
Like, hey, that's the head coach, that's his staff. You know, he's going to run this team and manage this team. He's doing a great job leading this team. Statements like that are either, hey, we completely back him up. You know, we have to have a tough, hard-nosed culture in today's NFL. We have to be competitive, right? Things like that. So it has to be either or. You know, it can't be, well, you know, we got to scale this thing back. You know, some of these guys are getting dinged up. We got to get ready for the regular season. Like, you can't come out publicly and say things like that. Right. So it'll be interesting to see what happens, boss. Interesting to see.
So this is where I wanted to piggyback on what you said, and I'm going to go heavy into this on Wednesday, to your point. The differences, because, see, everybody, we're in love with Shotty. Shotty is trying. Shotty is truly trying to have a true environment that is totally different than what we have been accustomed to.
You know, that's the most important thing, is if you pick them, you got to use them.
That's what we're used to. So now, I thought about Shotty today, and today, this is where I know Shotty is doing this intentionally. What he doing is he made the center of his philosophy anti the center of front office philosophy. It's like he forcing them to be fair. That's the genius in what he doing.
Yeah, it's psychological.
Yes, he putting it everywhere. Yeah, he putting it everywhere. So when they try to come back with,
you know, that's the most important thing, is if you pick them, you got to use them.
He could be like, that goes, that goes against everything.
That goes against our culture.
Right.
Goes against everything. That goes against the culture. That goes against everything I've been preaching and teaching.
This is smart by Brian, that he made it the center. You see, so, and it's like he gonna have a short rope for this, but he going for it. That's what I see that he doing. He's going for it.
Yeah, and I hate that he's gonna have a short rope on this.
Yeah.
Because it's more so a situation to where, you know, I mentioned this before. He's gonna have to be productive early to pull this out.
That's right.
If so the players he bet on in the interest of competition and fair competition, it's like, man, those guys got to show up and be productive.
Right, or they go take that rope back.
They go snatch it. They go snatch it. Play these guys that we just paid, boy. What's wrong with you? Right. Then he go get those meetings. They go whip it. You better go there. You better play him.
That's right.
I don't care what you think. This ain't working.
Yep.
And then it's gonna be a heated argument or something.
It's gonna be heated.
So I hope for his sake.
Oh man, I hated the way that happened. Okay, say it again. I'll say you went out.
Culture.
Say it one more time. One more time. Wi-Fi got you.
I'm sorry. I said I hope for the success of the culture and the team that they have success early. That's what I hope.
Yeah, that's what he needs. And I agree with James Ruff. We got. I think a 3-year window is too generous. I think we got a 1-year window for him to have it his way. I think he has a 3-year window in total.
Yeah, I agree. I would agree with that. So this year they need to go second round NFC Championship.
Right. If he gonna be able to retain the rope and the way he's been doing it, he has to go farther. Yeah, if he go keep the power. And that's sad, but it's how it is. It's the organization. It's the coach. It's the real coach. So I want to play this clip and talk about it too.
John, Jonah Javad, WFAA. Brian, your enthusiasm in practice, your energy with players, from what we've seen, from what we've heard from players, it kind of jumps out to us. How important is that to you as a head coach to kind of bring that to your guys? Why do you feel that's important? And what was the genesis of all of that? Has that just been rooted in you from day one, or did you have to practice that as a coach versus maybe as a player?
Well, it's actually funny that you asked me that question. And I'll answer. And the reason I smile is the way we practice and the way that I act at practice. My father is looking down from heaven going, what are you doing? Like, that's not how you practice. But my father also coached a long time ago.
Man. Talk.
And the type of athletes and type of young men that we're dealing with has changed.
That's true.
I believe that it's the coach's responsibility first and foremost to create a great practice environment.
Man.
What do I mean by that? If we don't have energy and we're not into it and we're not running around and we're not talking shit, then
this is Pete Kaire all over again, bro. This is where he got this, bro. I don't care what nobody say. This ain't original. This is Pete Kaire, dog. This is where he's modeling his style from, most of it.
And the players aren't going to be able to do that because they're going to follow our lead. And when we show them that we're going to let our personality shine and we're going to be who we are and be joyful out of practice, then they're going to do that. And I think what I would say reminded me of that and what I really fell for that was my years in Seattle.
Yep.
I think I've talked to you guys a little bit about Pete. I mean, I remember Pete being, sorry, Pete, if I'm wrong, 72 or 1 at the time, and him running around the practice field with more energy than me, who was 40-something at the time. I'm like, damn, I got to get in shape. But I believe it. Like, I watched some incredible athletes that late in the season went out to practice, and maybe they didn't really feel like practicing, but when the coaches bring the juice and the energy and the vibe, then they're going to follow suit. And that's really impacted me at a high level.
Yeah, I said it impacted me at a high level. So when I think about this, right, and I remember I was talking to somebody. We were talking football today. I can't remember who I was talking to, but who was I talking to? I think might have been Tuck. But I know I was talking to somebody. We was talking about when Mike McCarthy lost to Pete. You remember that? And they came back. That wasn't about X's and O's. That comeback was all about them dudes riding behind the energy of Pete. I dare anybody go back and watch that game and go watch the difference between what Mike McCarthy was doing and what Pete was doing. Pete was doing one thing when they was getting blown out in the first half. On the second half, he was running up and down that sideline, just staring his guys in the face, basically telling them, y'all better not quit. You better not quit. And that energy just took over. You know what I mean? And it's that energy that he's also feeding into them with his style and bringing the juice himself. I love it. And that's what we've been needing for when we're flat. We didn't have an emotional leader. Mike McCarthy was not that guy. When things begin to go south, it always just kept going south with Mike. You feel me? In terms of momentum. See, this type of leader can turn momentum. What's your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I mean, he said it. He was honest. He was open. It's the Pete Carroll model, and it's high energy. And the other thing, too, that he mentioned, I love his self-awareness in terms of this is a different generation in terms of player, because we're in the social media education era. Social media, YouTube, TikTok. And so what does all the apps and all the variety of information coming at you all the time does is that it makes your attention span very limited. So it's very hard to hold somebody's attention span that long. So you have to make them feel something. You have to be energetic. You have to come out and bring something to the table. Like even on the training side with me, like even like you have to be energetic, man. You can't be moping around, looking tired. You got to be up with them, man, to get the best out of them. And so I'm glad he recognizes that, and it's gonna pay dividends, especially with some of the younger players and draft picks, and it's gonna get more effort out of the older guys that he's gonna demand to pick it up. So this all bodes well for the Cowboys.
So let's talk about that from your standpoint, because the OC right now is an NFL trainer. He's even training some of the NFL draft picks right now. I don't know if you want to talk about that, but man, what you got going on right now is so amazing. Like, but let me say this, because I don't know if you want to talk about the guys that you train. I'm gonna let you say it if you decide to. But but I'm proud of you for that. First, I'm very proud of you. But second, talk about the fact that you and Real Truth also had that philosophy.
Yeah, because you have to really without. Let me speak to the part that I can speak to. Let me say this. I think that it's about understanding the athlete, and I think it's about being able to feel and know and sense what they're going through, and being able to align with that. You know, in terms of your strategy, in terms of your energy level, in terms of everything that you do, you know, it's about helping that athlete excel and get better in a variety of different ways and approaches that you can do it. And so I think if you tap into that, I think it can help you have a lot of success, and it can help you push the player wherever they might be, push that player to the next level and progressively push that player up. So that's what I think. So yeah, the philosophy is fantastic. The philosophy is great. The philosophy is I believe is accurate and is true to what the contemporary NFL environment and structure is.
See, you too humble, OC. I gave you a layup to brag on you and Real Truth, and you just didn't dunk it. I just dunk it for you. You don't like to dunk for yourself. I dunk it for you. So this is what I know about the OC and Real. This is their philosophy. You can't train if you can't work out with them guys. That's how they are. If you can't hold your own with them, you can't train for them. So there's no coaches that's gonna ever be with Real Truth that's out of shape, that's fat. That's not gonna happen. OC, can you talk about some of the stuff you have to do when you training these guys? Just a little bit.
Yeah, man. Well, you know, me and the Truth, we have, you know, a long relationship. But you know, when I first came out, man, he was testing me and stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like making me like, hey, man, all right, so we got to lap around here, you know, mile and a half, you know, stuff like that. We on heels, you know, doing different stuff. We're, you know, doing different sprints and transitional workouts and agilities and, you know, just different things that I won't go into depth about. But it's just more so like, you know, you have to be able to earn the player's respect. And I think if you do certain things and you work and train in a certain way, that you can earn that player's respect, which you're earning the right to ask the best out of the player. Right. I think that's the best way to put it. You earn the right. You earn the right to ask the best out of the player.
Yeah. And did he say that's not true, Andy Reid? Some coaches don't need to do that, obviously. When you legendary, when you Bill Belichick, you don't have to be in shape and all that kind of stuff. But when you somebody like a new coach, right? And you see, people thought I was playing when I said, like, I said this about Kellen Moore. I say, man, you need to get in shape. Like, for real. Like, that's the one reason Sean McVay is always ripped. He's always ripped, bro. Because he was a new young coach. When you are old, established genius that people know, you ain't got to have no six-pack. But now when you coming in like the OC, see, you still too humble. The OC do stuff like he got to run a mile before practice with them dudes. He'll get down with them dudes and rep 400 pounds, and he'll hit 225 and rep it 25 times while working out with them dudes. And the OC is in his 40s. And Real Truth told me, bragging on you, He said, bro, Jabari, because we call him by his real name. He said, he quick and he's strong. He's still strong. I said, for real? I said, he said, bro, he out there throwing that weight. He said, the OC throwing way more weight than anybody up in there. And my dog at his 40s. I said, that's what I'm talking about. But this is what Brian Schottenheimer is talking about, where you going out there to set the tone. Cause see, I remember that with my coaches. You had a coach like that, Coach Yarno.
Yeah, man. Coach Yarno was retired NFL. God rest his soul, by the way. He's a retired 13-year veteran.
Oh, he
man.
did?
He's out there doing. Yeah, he's passed, man.
I didn't know
Passed
that.
on. He coached at LSU. Yeah, he passed on, man. This is years ago now.
I didn't know that, bro.
Wow. Yeah. George Yarno's passed on. But, yeah, he started in the league 13 years, man. My coach used to walk me out there. You know, he was in student house. We had a nice house, you know. We had like apartments. He was out there with his shirt off on Sunday, washing his car.
Yeah,
He's
swole.
walking around. Yeah, big in the mug, man. Walking around, still 280, but, you know, 10% body fat. You know, walking around, his shirt off, you know what I mean? Washing his car.
It makes
Just
you
like
go
a dude.
harder, though. It make you go harder. Cause see, I remember he used to talk at y'all. He used to say, "Man, I'm older than y'all. I'll screw your girl." He used to go, he used to talk at y'all bad. I used to love it though. He used to be like, "I'm twice as old and I'll take your woman." I used to be like, "That's what I'm talking about, Coach."
Yeah, man. Coach was different, man. He was something else. But to the point that the other person trying to talk about Andy Reid. Andy Reid is 70 years old and has already won Super Bowls.
Right.
Let's look at the general populace. Okay, Josh McDaniels, Miami, young, spry coach, right? Thin coach, in shape coach. Okay, Sean McVay. You mentioned Sean McVay. All right, but what about San Francisco 49ers head coach? Is he a big out of shape dude? Absolutely not. What about Nick Sirianni? Nick Sirianni is not a big out of shape dude. You're trying to make points on something that's not relevant. Jimmy Johnson coached almost 40 years ago. That's not what we're talking about.
And then
we're talking about today.
He bringing up goats.
Yeah, he's reaching.
He like
He's
you
reaching.
super reaching, bro. When you Belichick, Andy Reid, Jimmy, we're talking about the goats.
Today's NFL.
Right, today.
Today's NFL.
Today.
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 Not 1997.
Today.
Talking about today.
It does make a difference when them guys come out there with energy, bro. And I'm telling you, we saying it from playing. That's why we bringing up Coach Yarno. That's why I bring up Coach Swayze. When I was playing, and we was running 150s, bro. We running 150s, and you want to feel sorry for yourself because your body in pain, right? Then you look up, and Swayze, 35 years old, runs by you. You 20, and a coach 35 runs by you. What you think that made me do?
Kick it in.
Man, you got me messed up, man. Ain't gonna let no old man. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It made our practices better. So when you hear Brian Schottenheimer talking about bringing in energy, it's real, bro. Like, because I do believe that a lot of people think this is overselling, some of this is real, bro. Some of this does make a difference to your practice, bro. And we telling you from experience. When Coach Henderson was in his 40s, bro, and we was running, and he used to tell us, don't bend over, right? And we would bend over anyway. Like, man, you ain't out here running, right?
Right.
But then Coach Henderson start running with us, and he in his 40s. And then he don't bend over. What we do?
Stand up.
We stood up. We like, damn, the old man ain't doing it. So now, like, this is a genius. This is a common sense genius in Brian. It is. And this is something that's gonna pay off for us. It is. This is gonna help us on tough games and tough days. This whole environment. Because I don't think he no chump at all. I don't think he no chump at all. I think what's happening is he's just vocal about what he's doing, and it's causing us, in my opinion, to get fatigued about hearing about it. But it's effective, bro. And I stand with him on what he's doing.
And what he's doing on another level is genius. And I'll give more context to this. Is we've always said what the gladiator quoted mantra, Boss Cowboy.
Right.
What was it?
Win the crowd, win your freedom.
Win your freedom.
That's right.
He's publicly saying these things on purpose.
That's right.
This is so smart. It's a setup. He's setting the table.
Mm.
You see what he's doing? He's setting the table publicly, so that if something doesn't go right, he's gonna always have a leg to stand on in terms of, hey, this is my way. This is what I wanted to do. I've always said this from day one. Blah 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 blah. He's setting the table. He's setting the table. And no, I believe it's genuine, but he's also publicly setting the table.
Yeah.
And I like that, because what happens front office wise is a lot of times they set the table and control the narrative. So he's setting the table. So yeah, it's genuine, but he's also publicly setting the table. And I think that's
Yeah, and and see you all over the place, Richard. It's cool though. He said didn't say it didn't make a difference, just said it wasn't necessary. Okay, bro. If it makes a difference, it's necessary. So like this, in this game we call it a game of inches. You don't give up inches and then say it don't matter. Okay? If this go help us get about 5 or 10 extra inches, bro, in a game that where 1 inch can lose you the game, I want that too. So, and I hear you like, cause see, that's what's happening is people getting Brian fatigue. So when they hearing us make the case, it's like, I don't take all that. That's what people starting to kind of get on that. Is it don't take all that? It's like, no, I'm telling you as a former athlete myself that it made a big difference when my coaches was able to demonstrate. It did. It did motivate me, bro. So I'm telling you as an athlete, his coach was Coach Yarno, and Coach Yarno used to be able to demonstrate, brother. And when somebody that's older than you has more energy than you, it does something to your practice. It does. It's almost like having somebody working out with you. Let me just ask this question. Is it easier to work out by yourself or with somebody with you pushing you?
somebody with you pushing you.
Right. So,
Okay, and I'll give you a perfect example. So you want me to brag on myself? I'm not bragging. I'm giving this to make a point. I'm training the guy that's just got back from a rookie mini camp, right, with an unspoken team, and I'm gonna leave his name unspoken. Okay.
Right.
We're working out, and we're doing legs, and he have a certain weight, and he does it for reps, and I'm looking at him. I didn't say this, okay, but I'm thinking to myself, man, you can do more weight than that. So I put on more weight. I double the weight. And then I do the weight for the same amount of reps. Guess what he did? He added more weight. And I added more weight. Then he added more weight. What was I doing? I'm pushing to get better and not to be content with just getting through the workout.
Right.
That made a difference for him.
Right. And see,
that's one example.
Competition motivates me. It does. So my boy did at least say it's me versus the mirror. And that's some people, they don't need no motivation. But I put it like this. If it's me, the mirror, and somebody else, I'm going to go harder just because somebody ain't right there. That's just period. So, and then I've been thinking about this, though, because there is a potential downside to this that I don't think is going to happen to Brian. I don't think Brian is friendly like Dan Quinn. Because we saw this player's coach before. Tuck is right. We've seen this.
Yeah.
But
I've
also saw
this
Brian
is
up close. Brian would get in your grill, bro. Like he's fiery on the field. He's not on the surface he seems like I'm the Whataburger guy. I take y'all out to lunch. But when you practicing bad, he go tell you, bro. Like I watched him do it. He's strong. He's not like Dan Quinn, bro.
Yeah, he's completely different, man. And Brian is tactical. He's more of a strategist. He's not purely relational. like he's relational with a strategy.
Right.
Like Dan Quinn was more purely relational.
Right.
More pure, just relational. Right. So the thing is with him, no, he's a general. He has more of a general mindset.
Yeah.
So he's setting culture. He's building relationships. It's all for a purpose. It's not just to do it because I just want to be your friend. Although he's okay with it, but he's about the end game and the goal.
Yeah.
So he's totally different. And if you look at him in Jacksonville, which I followed him even in Jacksonville, man, he would get into people's tail, man. He was not playing with you. If you messed up, he is not playing with you.
No.
If you screwed up, you had a bad game, he's not playing with you.
That's what I saw.
It is not. It is not no kumbaya and it's all good. No.
I don't see that.
No.
And that's with me being out there at training camp. And I don't know if y'all remember, I showed a video where Law came on the final word. He say, man, Scotty out there strong, bro. Like, you know, he say, man, he don't be playing with them boys. Like, he'll sit your ass down. He said, Dak, you know what I mean? Like, he had a rule that if you had an interception, you had to sit. And he said Dak. Like, he said, still, sit down. The starters, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, and I was watching. I was out there at training camp, and I was watching him, man. He was the most animated coach out there. And I'm watching, and I said to Law, Law, I see it. He said, what? I said, shot it. And it was on video. You know what I mean? He's not, I watched Dan Quinn style. It was not like that. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not saying Dan Quinn was but I saw the discipline on the defense, not what it needed to be. I don't think Brian go play with that at all. I think he go have relationships with you, but he go be also man enough to tell you when you tripping. I swear that's what I see in him, bro. I swear I don't see no dude that's gonna be, I'm Mr. Friendly, and I forget to tell you what you need to get better at. I don't see that. Cause see, this is one thing that was obvious between Dan Quinn and Zim. That was obvious. Zim wasn't on this friendly stuff at all. It was just basically, you go do your job so that other people can have success during theirs. I'm not going to take you out to lunch to tell you that. You just go do that. And they did, versus Dan Quinn was the friend coach. And you saw a lot of people missing containment when he was coach. It was a lot of issues with the edges. We talked about them having a lack of containment every week under Dan Quinn. We didn't have that conversation under Zimmer on bad edge play. No, we didn't.
No.
We did
because
not.
He will flip his lid. Bro.
Yeah.
He will flip out if you gave up the edge. I saw him do it on the sideline. He completely flip out.
Yeah.
So it's like you knew, like, oh, bro, like you may be coming out the game instantly, or the next game you ain't starting.
Right.
Like you better not give up that edge. You better not.
Yeah. And you right, Tuck. We gotta see. This is what we gotta do, though. We still gotta keep our eye on Dallas, though. This is where Tuck is right, because this is a organization where your front office will try to change your dominant style. You know what I mean? Like they did with Rashad. They'll try to change your style.
No, he left. He kept his dominant style. He left. Coach somewhere else with that dominant style.
Yeah.
Because that's not our culture. But you know what the good thing is? Is that Brian Schottenheimer is the head coach. He's not an assistant coach.
Right. Yeah.
So that's what he has in his favor. And it's a bigger investment, and he has a little bit more respect than a Rashad does, right? And so that's what's going to help him and give him some rope. Rashad was a guy we could just, I hate to say it, but throw away if we don't like him, type situation.
Exactly.
And Brian is not in that boat. So that's going to help a lot for him.
So I'm going to play a couple more clips and we're going to get up out of here. We ain't going to have a long final word today. But check this out. I'm going to play 3 different clips for these linebackers. Let's just listen to it. 3 different linebackers. I want y'all to listen.
Joe. Joe White, DL Sports. One of the things we talked about last year with Eric Hendricks was that he could teach Mike Zimmer's system because he knew it so well. Obviously, you guys brought in Jack Sanborn, who has experience with Matt Eberflus. Just curious, does Matt Eberflus' system, do you think it needed kind of a translator or a guy who had that firsthand experience with it? And what else have you seen from Sanborn since he's got here?
Work ethic jumps off the tape. the communication I was talking to, he has the advantage because he's been in the system. But again, I think Flus's system is so flexible, and again, we're going to always be multiple. Everything we do is going to be multiple on all three phases of the game, and that doesn't mean that you necessarily have to run 1,000 different coverages or run 1,000 different plays, but you're going to dress it up and do things like that. But Jack's been incredible. The command, also him, I would say, leaning into a couple of the younger backers, Barron and Shamar. That doesn't have to happen, but he's happy to help, which is great. Again, speaks to the fact that, he's a competitor. He wants to win the starting job, but he's also willing to, lean into those guys and answer questions and be a sounding board, and that's what we want. I mean, you can be a veteran that wants to compete to be a starter, but still help some of the younger guys. There's not a right way or wrong way to do it, and Jack's a very selfless player that we're excited to have.
All right, so that was his update on Jack. This is his update on Clark.
Kyle Yeomans, Dallas Cowboys TV. We talked to Damone Clark a little bit last week, too, sticking with linebackers. What have you seen in his progression with this system and how he's kind of come along this offseason?
Yeah, picked it up fast. I think the way he's diagnosing things looks quicker to me than maybe in the past. A little bit more command of it. The physical traits have always been there. And I think the connection that he has with Flus, Coach Borgonzi, I think that's important. I know most guys are that way, but I think Damone, he's such a pleaser. He wants to do things the right way, that I think that relationship that he's developed with Dave Borgonzi is incredible. And again, that's what this time of year is about as well. It's again, like we've said, what are we doing to connect the coaches to the players to the staff, and I think that Dave's done a really good job of capturing not just Damone, but really that entire linebacker room, because there's a ton of new faces in there.
Podell, CBS Sports. Brian, looks like Kenneth Murray, who you traded for, has been running with the ones a lot through OTAs. What have you seen from him coming over from Tennessee so far?
Well, I'm going to go back. We played actually on my 50th birthday a couple years ago. We played in L.A., played the Chargers, and I remember they had him and Kendricks, and he's a great player too. But I remember going into that game really concerned about. I think he's wearing number 9. I think. But the athleticism, the power, the ability to diagnose, excellent tackler, physical. So a guy we've been watching for a couple of years. Again, right now we're not doing 1s and 2s. We're rotating things around as we create competition, but he is not disappointed. The same player that we saw in L.A. a couple of years ago on Monday night, I think it was, is the same guy that we're seeing every day out there at practice. Really a great feel. Understands how to defeat blocks and fit gaps, and that's a big part of a guy that's got veteran experience and leadership, quite honestly.
Ooh.
Well, I mean, he's going to be a baller, man. We know that Murray's a baller. I liked him coming out of OU.
Oh, yeah.
That dude can ball. He can ball. The good and interesting thing that I like is that Damone Clark is picking it up.
Yeah.
Because he's always kind of underperformed.
Yeah.
For his athletic ability and his physical skills. So if he wants to be on the field, I guess he's going to have to perform, man. I think that's good. Jack is a guy that's a special teams player, and he's an emergency backup. So I'm not really worried about him. But Damone is a guy, I'm just being honest. Damone is a guy that can definitely help you if he plays responsibility and takes care of his business. So I hope for Damone Clark's sake that he does well, because he's physical, he's athletic, he's super fast, and I hope he comes on with it, because players like our second round draft pick out of Notre Dame and players like Murray, they will put your butt on the bench if you're tripping. So
let me turn you on, La. Man, so did you hear them clips of them linebackers I just played, La?
Can't hear you, Law.
Hold on, let me make sure that's not me. It might be me. I think it's me. Go, Law. I got you on. Can't hear you.
Up your value.
I got you on. I'm looking at it. I didn't have you on, but now I do. Nothing. 0. Keep playing with it. Let me try one more thing. Y'all be patient, man. Y'all know how it is, man. We gonna try to figure out what's going on with my boy Lost Sound. Let me check his audio settings. Nah, I got everything. Up. I think it's.
He wasn't coming back in.
All right. But this is what I heard in that exchange, bro. This is what I heard. What you said, basically, Jack Sanborn, he made it clear that he was fighting for a starting job. So all the comps that we was hearing out there, that don't sound like he's saying it like we've been hearing on those comps, right? Because if he's really getting ready to be Luke Kuechly and all the stuff that people were saying, then you would have saw it in the description that was coming from Brian Schottenheimer. It was not that. It was that basically you working with the young guys and that you're fighting to try to get on the field, right? What I heard, though, with Damone Clark, which is super important, which I think we can't sleep on, was that Damone Clark was diagnosing better. What was the main problem with Damone Clark?
Reading plays and jumping 5 yards over, going the wrong direction, and just being bananas, like he don't understand a back and a pulling guard or footsteps of a lineman and a play action pass, a bootleg, and that boy's running left, they going right. I mean, just no offense, but some of it really was bad. No offense. I just hope, man, for his sake, that he does better because he's a great athlete. He was really good at LSU, and so for whatever reason, it hadn't come all the way together for him, but I hope it really does this year.
Right.
I really do.
So the fact that he said that he's diagnosing better than he was and has in the past, right?
Right.
He was clear that he's diagnosing better than he has in the past. That was his major issue, was diagnosing, bro. And then also I felt like because of what happened to his neck, he also wasn't as physical as he used to be at LSU. Those are the two things. So I've never seen Eberflus fail linebackers.
And I'm gonna give you the most important thing to be said.
What's that?
He's a pleaser. And he wants to do things right. He's identified his personality profile.
Yeah.
Eberflus has got to this kid's head.
Yeah.
Which is great. He needs to stay in his head.
Called him a pleaser.
So that he can actually go out there and perform.
Yeah.
He's a pleaser. He wants to do the right thing.
Right.
They're going to ride that. They're going to use that.
Right.
To get the most out of him, which is good. That was the most important thing.
Yeah. And so if we can get a quality starter because of the coaching and Clark, man, that's a massive thing. That's not a light thing. That's a massive thing. And on top of that, Leo Fowl. And they not even talking about him. That's fine. I don't
two athletes and a real banker, bro.
Yeah. Yeah.
2 athletes and a pure banker, bro. A pure banker.
Yeah.
Because that's what Leo Fowl is. He's a pure north-south banker.
Right.
So if you get Murray being athletic and physical, you get Murray being athletic as he is. He's already athletic, but now going the right direction and just being slightly more physical. He ain't got to be overwhelmingly physical.
You talking about Damone because you said
Damone,
Murray
excuse me. Damone, sorry. I'm sorry, Damone. Him being just more physical, not overwhelmingly physical, but with his athletic ability, he just go get there and make a whole bunch of tackles if he goes the right direction.
Right. Yes.
You see what I'm saying?
Yes.
So if you get that and the physical guys inside with Murray's ability and a couple of the backup, man, we'd be in good shape at linebacker.
Yeah.
We'll be in real good shape.
Yeah, man. And then it was what I noticed about Murray. This is the difference. He knew the details on Murray not like them other dudes. So he started talking about Murray back to when he was with the Rams. Down to he had number 9, I believe, right? So these are details that he's showing. I'm seeing a pecking order from his description of the linebackers. So it sounds like a true pet cat is Murray. And that's it.
And he should be.
Talk to me.
Because he's the better player, man. A dude that's averaged over 100 tackles in his career. He missed a couple games and had 95 tackles last year.
Oh, Law back.
That dude.
Law.
Yeah, that.
Nah, no sound yet, Law.
But yeah, Murray is a dude. Murray is a Pro Bowl type dude. He should be the pet cat. And he got receipts over his first several years in the league. To me, he's the best linebacker that we got.
Yeah.
Yeah, he has to be the pet cat.
I'm gonna play one more clip, and try to buy Law some time to figure out his sound.
And I'm gonna let you land the plane for this because I gotta run in there.
Yeah, this is it. This is it. Because I was gonna land the plane, but I'm gonna play this because this was good news. Yeah, he playing it. I say he trying to play his buttons. That your butt's not coming through either, Law. Nothing working. And I got you on. I'm looking at it. I got you on. So he's still trying to figure it out. Here we go. I'm gonna play this and then we'll get up out of here.
Nick Harris, Full Start Telegram. I want to ask about a couple of guys we've seen had good days. Miles Sanders on Thursday and Kaire Elam over the last couple of weeks. Both of those new additions. What have you seen from those guys in their respective?
So I'll start with Kaire. Obviously Florida Gator.
What does that mean?
He knows him.
Yep. And
pulling Florida Gator.
That's pulling for him. See, that's that.
Yep.
See, if you want to know what a sponsor look like, this is what it looked like.
New additions. What have you seen from those guys in their respective?
So I'll start with Kaire. Obviously Florida Gator. First round draft pick.
See, when you do all that, yeah, you can see who pulling for, in my opinion. He like him. When you see him smile just at the thought, look.
I'll start with Kaire. Obviously Florida Gator. First round
smiles to himself. If I'm looking at body language, that says a lot, bro.
Draft pick. Sometimes it's just there's issues with fit. There's issues with different things, but the talent jumps off the film. We keep track of our players' speeds, each week to see who's hitting top speeds. And like I said, the one thing I'm most proud about is the way our guys run. Pre-snap, but more post-snap, the way they run and cover. And he's been consistently at the top of the skill guys on defense with his top speeds. I think he's really taken to the system, the coaching from DA and Andre. So I think he's in a really good spot. He's playing with a lot of confidence. But again, it's I guess we're June now. So yeah, we're June, but we're still in OTA football, and we're still limited with what we can do. And the defense does not have equal right to the football.
I don't like that. I hate that.
That's the rule, and so therefore DBs have to pull off. But from a confidence standpoint, he's doing great.
I'm gonna stop. Let's listen to Miles.
And Miles, I don't know why anybody would be surprised with Miles' ability. Having been in the division and played against Miles when he was in Philadelphia, you talk about a guy that's a home run threat. You talk about a guy that's got incredible, just ability to hurt you running, catching the ball out of the backfield, all that stuff. Very smart, very bright. All the backs have been that way. But I'd be remiss if I didn't mention they're both the right type of guy. They both fit into what we're trying to build as a culture from a work ethic standpoint. They both bring veteran leadership, a little bit different. Miles a little older than Kaire, but Kaire's father played, so he understands the life of professional football, and so two very exciting guys that we've added to the roster, amongst many other.
Well, I think that he likes Kaire. I mean, that's his favorite, He mentioned him twice. He loves the kid. He's going to get some run. Miles, he's expecting him to be a good veteran, come help us out. So we'll see what happens. If both these guys play well, we'll be in pretty good shape running back wise. But with the other things we have in the building, if one of them disappoints, then they need to pick up a power back, which I think they should do anyway. But that's my opinion. But I think that, these guys will get some run, and we'll see what happens. Great things happen when you open up big lanes because you have a powerful offensive line. And I think that our offensive line in this event will probably end up helping these two backs.
Right.
That's what I think.
This is what I got from that. That's super important. When he speak on Kaire, Elam, he keep talking about speed.
Yep.
See, I don't know if you remember when we first got him, that I talked about him, and I said that he lost his speed. And I said he could get it back, but he would need to go work with a track coach. I said exactly that. That's exactly what he did too.
Yep.
That's exactly.
Smart.
He started working with a track coach, bro. That was his off season. So this is the third time I've heard Brian bring him up and not just talk about play. He also keeps bringing up his speed and the fact that we're measuring him, which is saying he probably saw what I saw. His speed became a concern, and they keep saying it because they like he's passing the speed test because they're measuring him. They measuring his game speed, and they saying that he keeps clocking out of everybody some of the fastest game speed, which means working with that track coach worked. So in a nutshell, we might have restored a former first rounder. He put in the work.
That'd be dope.
That'd be dope.
Yeah.
That'd be dope.
Dope.
And shout out to Elam, man. Because see, I wasn't one of them people that was gonna just throw out some rosy BS. A lot of people do that. They just start saying this person great and all of that. We got to be honest on what they got to work on. We do. Because what if he heard us? What if he heard me? You feel me? He listened to all these other content creators lie and just say how great he is. He needed somebody to be honest and say, bro, you lost a step, but you can get it back. And he did. So if he's restored, OC, what does that say? What does that say about us?
You're going to have an opportunity, man, to make some big plays for us. And if they do that, man, then, that opens up everything else, man. If your running game is effective, it makes it easier to do everything else, which is what Schottenheimer wants to do, and it plays perfectly into his plan.
Right.
That's what they're saying.
Right. So I'm going to go ahead and get my final word, bro. And I'm sorry, Law. I don't know what happened. I'll call you. We'll figure it out. The good news is this, man. We go have a lot of changes going on with the final word. The final word finna get even doper than what it's ever been. So y'all get prepared for that. But most importantly, I want to kind of end it on how we started. With Stephen Jones saying we don't have anything on the front burner. Let me just say this to everybody as my final word. Don't give up. They said that same thing about receiver by committee. Y'all remember? They said the same thing. Oh, we good. We don't need this. We good. We don't need this. We fine. We go in here and it's gonna be efficient. It's gonna be bing, 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 and Dak is gonna be. And guess what happened? It fell apart. It broke. And we had to fix it with Amari Cooper. So the best thing to do, in my opinion, is to don't get discouraged because he said that he's done shopping. Don't get discouraged because he didn't keep his promise. He promised that he was going to spend to the cap. He didn't tell the truth on that. He didn't. He promised us that they was looking and trying to do deals 24/7, 365 That's what he always said. And now he was like, it's nothing on the burner. So do like I've always done when I had to deal with them old crazy bosses that I had. Keep putting out the ideas. Keep pushing for it. Hopefully he right, because if he right, we won't need nothing else. Sanders will be fine. Williams will be fine. Them young dudes will be fine. And we'll be on our way to a Super Bowl. Hopefully we don't need another one tech. Hopefully Denzel Jackson and going into year 2 is going to make a jump that I've never seen. Hopefully we go see out of I forgot my Auburn guy name, but Justin Rogers, that he makes that step too. If they make that step, then we really don't need a one tech as well. Do I trust that? No. But y'all saying y'all go trust it, that you don't have nothing working, okay, cool. We go rock with that. And if it crash, I need y'all to dust off the proposals that we gonna be putting out there, because I'm not finna stop talking about it, because I feel like this is what you need, Cowboys, for winter. And when I say winter, I'm saying playoff football. I don't agree that you have enough right now to sustain you for the long haul. I think you have enough now to be competitive and fun, but not to win it all. My last word is keep doing what you're doing, Brian. I trust it, and I think you're going to do well. And we're going to have your back. We're going to have your back the whole way, because there's going to be some times that some of these things you're pushing for is going to get pushed back on, and we're going to be watching for that. But so far, my final word is, Brian, you're doing an excellent job, and keep up. Keep with it.
Yeah, man. So at the end of the day, the Cowboys have built mostly a really good competitive roster. A couple more pieces, maybe a running back, definitely a defensive tackle if the Cowboys can pick up one. But this is a wait-and-see proposition. As we get later in the summer and as we get to training camp, you probably see more movement with those two things based on how training camp is looking and how a preseason or 2 game looks. But excited about what Brian Schottenheimer is doing. He's doing a really good job laying the foundation, which is the hardest thing to do when you build any house. So he's laying the foundation. Keep it up. It'll be fun. It'll be competition just about in every spot. So that'll be the fun part on covering this team, especially going into training camp. So just stay tuned, man. Keep it locked here, man. Follow Boss Cowboy Sports, Instagram, YouTube, X. Follow me, the OC100 on X. And then until next time, guys, salute.
I just wanna run it up. Can we check or something? I've been really in the field, let up, yeah. I've been really in the field, let her rush, I let her feel. Lately, I just wanna run it up. Don't need no deals, I make the deal. Have to take it to a meal. Lately, I just wanna run it up, yeah. Kinda check or something. Lately, I just wanna run it up. Count that too, count it up, yeah. Count it up. Lately, I just wanna run it up. Need them ones, I need them fives, need them tens, I need that change. To the safe, got blues inside. Greens and pinks, it's all the same. I still save and roll my change. Take some losses when I play, charge it to the game. I'm with L, yeah, I'm with T Black, I'm with Reverend now. I'm with Bay, yeah, I'm with Jay, yeah, I'm with Chuck and now. Still the same, not switching sides, now it's about loyalty. You switch sides off for the bag, and that's worth more to me. I mix Nike with designer, I experiment. You just rock what's on the shelf, and I'm not feeling it. Search for the one, but baby girl, it's nothing real as this. Can't trust a soul, I keep a hammer, call it too legit. I've been really in the field, let her rush, I let her feel. Lately, I just wanna run it up.